Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Dax today? So yesterday was quite an interesting day. We gapped away as expected, and we kind of powered through the level that I was expecting us to find resistance at. And net result thereof is we've got a fairly bullish candle. So we gap away in a solid green bar. And if I look at what the futures market is doing right now, pretty much flat. So 11,334, which is pretty much where we closed, if I'm correct. 11,3, no, it's not. So 11,334. So we are 11,334. Okay, that's good enough. That's kind of where we are at the moment. So we are 40 points from the close. Okay, so right now things are looking like a gap down today, and which is very possible. If you look at the oscillator here, you can see whenever we grip to the upside, we have a pullback. Now, the alligator is standing virtually straight up. So if we do gap down and move to the downside, there's quite a bit that we can focus on. So firstly, if you just review yesterday, you can see how we powered through pretty much all the levels, and then we turned right on these inside bars here. Okay. Well, we haven't turned yet, but we're finding some resistance there. So I would suggest, and this is basically because we have trade war noise coming through again, I would suggest that there's a gap down today and a move to the downside, possibly to come pick up this, retest this breakout, and then we're going to have to wait and see what happens. So looking at the hour, you can see how strong this trend was yesterday. Very strong. We are above the 200 moving average. So that's probably where, I think let's pick it up with the half hour rather. So there's my fractal to the bottom, and there's my fractal to the upside. So it's either a break above this fractal or break below this fractal. So now I suspect we're going to get a gap down, and the big question is where we're going to find support. Okay, this level here seems to be the one that I'd be paying attention to. So this is 11,266. Okay, but there's two scenarios here at the moment. So the first one is pretty much off the 4 hour, where you've got this hanging man here. We've got quite a bit of resistance at this area where we are now. So in other words, pullback. And the big question is whether it's a pullback to close the gap or to find support at this level, or even a pullback to find some support on a Fibonacci level. So you can see there's a 50, there's a 61.8, which is pretty close to the gap. Or alternatively, a pullback to come and test this, the alligator. Okay, but looking at the Williams percentage R here, we're grouped in overbought territory, so I would expect us to pull back. This is a new high, so I would expect us to pull back and create a higher low, and that would be my signal for a long. Okay, so that's kind of what my view of the world is at the moment. There are also sort of, we just pull that back to there, and we tidy that up to there. You'll see that we do have a bit of a trend break here, but if I do adjust it to this pin bar here, we're not quite there yet. Okay, so kind of a mixed bag at the moment. But I would argue a pullback and potentially to come and test the alligator. We are far from the alligator as well, so you want to see price come a little bit close to the alligator, and then we can look for a long entry. Okay, so I'm still sort of reluctant to look for shorts, or you could find a short scalp up here, depending what happens in that first hour of trading today. But just watch out for these levels to the downside. And then obviously the gap. Okay, so picking it up off the half hour, you can see the verification is going to be the break below this fractal level here. But what is that? 11,317. So a break below 11,317 is pretty much the level you need to watch for. And we are currently 11,317, and we are currently sitting at 11,336. Okay, so we're hovering in the area here. So I would expect a gap down today. And then it's a matter of how far we're gapping down. Are we going to gap down, come and test this level, or is this alligator going to hold? Okay, so you can see immediately if we do break below this, it is below the teeth of the alligator, so that is a valid signal to go short, and your stop will be above this. This will turn out to be a fractal, so your stop will be above here. Okay, my only concern is where we're going to. Okay, that's kind of the view that I have at the moment. So probably short at the open, a bit of a move down, maybe some profit taking, and then it's a question of whether we're going to come and close the gap, come all the way down, or are we going to find support at these different levels here. So I would be inclined to look for a long at this area here, possibly even the low of yesterday, and you can probably get away with a 20-point stop loss, 20-point stop loss, so you can keep a really tight stop to see if it bounces off this area. If it breaks through this level, then you can expect the next area is going to be these tails here and the gap. Okay, so yeah, part of me is saying, the daily was a great solid green candle, and also a break of this trend here. But look where the test of this break is. It's right back down here by gap close. Okay, and then the other way of looking at this is still sort of a megaphone type formation. You see there. Okay, so I think still quite a bit of confusion at the moment, and I think that that's to be expected, especially after such a long run to the downside. You find this kind of backwards and forth consolidation as people are trying to change the direction of this and move it to the upside. So I think it's still a bit of a battle today, and I'm expecting short, but not really positive as to where this short is going to go. I would suggest that you just draw all your trend lines in, and this bottom fractal here is ultimately, so 11,100 is the ultimate level to downside. If that breaks, then we've got more downside coming. But I think the fact that we've broken through this fractal above the alligator on the 4-hour, we're on resistance here. I would expect to bounce back, come and test this break. Even if it comes back to close the gap, that would still be an entry long. Okay, so that's kind of my view on this at the moment. Not really interested in the short, but I will wait and see if there's some consolidation in this area for another long. Okay, so that's my view on the Dax this morning. Hope it helps, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Cheers for now.